We are actually alive. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning to Kilu, and good afternoon, good evening to everybody else in the world. And today, so we are going to talk about wedding photography with lights. And for you guys who doesn't know Kilu, Ki is I think six times, right? Wedding
Yep.
photograph of a year in West Australia, and there is always something I want to take out. I never had a chance to get it. It's like you have a dream girl. Actually, you want to date her for so many years, and there was no chance. That's AIPP wedding photograph of a year of national, which is Australia wedding photograph of a year. So Kilu actually took it out, I think, a couple of years ago, right? He's like, let's stay low key. Let's not mention it. I want it.
Long time ago, not a couple of years ago. Long time ago for the national.
Yeah, Mike. And once you date that girl, you stop caring about it. So yeah, and I never had a chance. So very jealous, Kilo. I love you and also hate you at the same time. You are best friends of mine, and yeah. In Kilo, I think Kilo deserves every single awards of his God. As a matter of fact, I think his work is a unique kind. That's why he got lots of awards there. He has lots of crazy group photos, party images with all the ground and just, getting drunk, and the liquid is flying in the air. It's almost like all the cool cyberpunk dinners you will have with all cool kids. And also he has extensive experience with luxury weddings. So without further talk, I will stay quiet and listen to Kilo's talk, sharing his most recent weddings. Not only use flash but also use LED lights, right? It's really cool, because when I was looking at lecture notes, I was like, damn, I should have thought about it, but I have the lights. I never used it like that way. I'm going to try that in my next wedding. So it's very beneficial, and it's very quick to use. Stay tuned and enjoy, guys, and ask any questions. If you have any anytime, and Kilo will be great. We'll be very happy to answer them.
Yes, no
All
problem.
Right. I'll leave that to you.
Thanks, Harry. Very good morning.
No worries.
A very good morning from Adelaide in Australia, guys. 6:30 a.m. here in Adelaide. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. I don't expect much people from Australia to be tuning in right now. Everyone's probably So I'm gonna go and start my slide, guys. Hope everyone can see this okay. So my name is Kilu. I operate a wedding a studio in Adelaide, based in Australia. My studio mainly specializes in weddings. We also do commercial, and we also do family photography as well. But my passion's always been in the field of wedding, because I like wedding because it's such a high pace, high energy area to be in and to be photographing. So that's a little bit about myself. So I've been doing wedding photography for 10 years now. And today I want to share with you guys what are some of the things I've learned in my 10 years. Maybe some mistake I've made, or something that's good that I can pass on to you. So if you're just starting out in wedding photography, there's a lot of information in here that will benefit you. Even if you've been shooting for a while, you might find some information that that are useful as well. So this is mainly what I'm talking about, and I'm going to be talking about what equipment I use. I'm going to talk about how to deal with wedding day pressure, what you need to prepare for on a wheel day wedding, and I'll also finish off going through a wheel day wedding from start to finish. Obviously, it's only 90 minutes, so I won't have time to go through every single photos that I photograph in a wedding for the wheel day wedding example, but I'll put in some of the main ones, some of the main things you should capture in a full day wedding. So let's get started.
Yeah, before we jump into it, Kilo, just there's a question says he had this problem with V862 laser focus. Did you ever use V860?
No, I
No,
haven't. VA
no,
60.
me neither. So
Yeah.
for the so members now, sorry, we've neither of us used the V862 before, but what I can tell you is uh, V1 actually works with
Mm.
my Sony camera perfectly, right? I think you are using V1 too, right,
I'm
Kilo?
using V1. I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
the
So
V1.
yeah, Kilo use V1 too. So you have two solutions, Mai. One of to take you out VS60 to the local dealer to fix it up. I wouldn't imagine that would be technical issue, or just swap to V1. Because I
Mm,
think so many wedding photographers using V1, it will be good solution if you are in the wedding industry.
that's correct.
Yep. Should we
I agree with
continue?
that. Yes, sure. All right. The first thing I want to start my talk with talking about is equipment. So what are some of the equipment I have in my bag, and what are actually some of the equipment I actually use from my bag for a wheel day wedding? That is very, very different scenario. So what's in my bag? So this is all the equipment I have actually in my bag. So I'm a Sony shooter, so I have two Sony A7R. As part of the Sony lens, the lenses I have, these are the only lens I have. I have the 135G Master. I got a micro lens, a 15mm micro lens. I got a 7200 f2.8, and I have a Sigma 1.8 that is a 14mm plus an 85 Zeiss 1.8. In terms of lighting, I can be a natural light shooter, but a lot of time I prefer using flash only because I have better control of what I want in my image. Natural light is very much dependent on the weather, dependent on where you are. There's a lot of factor. That's the reason why in my early career of photography, I've always tried to master my skill in flash because I want to be in control. I'm a bit of a control freak. I want everything to be under my direction, and that's where flash is so important for me. So in terms of flash, I've chosen Godox. I have a Godox 8400 Pro, 8200 Pro, a V1, 8300 Pro. And also in terms of lighting, I've also introduced LED light, which I'll explain a bit more later. LED light is very cool in a way. You see what you get, and it actually increase the speed of your workflow, and it's very beneficial in that regard. So this is all the gear I use. Obviously, I have soft boxes, and I use a lot of filters, grid. I use all that normal stuff as well. So in terms of the equipment I have, and this is the equipment I actually use on a wheel day wedding. It's a lot less. On a wheel day wedding, I still bring my two body, my Sony A7R III. I still use my lens, which is the 135mm, the micro lens, the wide angle 14mm from Sigma, and the Sony 2470. But I can tell you now, 80% of my shot on a wedding day is all from a 2470. I could really photograph a whole wedding using a 2470 if I wanted to. And in terms of light, all I bring with me is the 8200 Pro and the V1, and also a LED light from Godox, the 500R is the one I use. I actually don't use I added the softbox in there, but I actually don't use the softbox much on a wedding day because
You don't like cover? No, no, for sure. I'm sorry. It's too early in the morning. Sorry. I thought yeah, what I'm doing. Man, I'm probably gonna ban my Facebook, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah, imagine that. I can't concentrate now.
Yeah, just cut your breath.
I actually use on a wedding day. I don't use much, only because wedding day is a bit fast paced, and I want something even faster. But I do use my softbox a lot more for my commercial type shoot or lifestyle shoot, where I have a bit more time compared to a wedding day. So there you go. So in my bag for wedding day, I have 2 bodies, the Sony a7R III. I got 4 lens, and then I got a V1 8200 Pro and a LED light from Godox, the 500R.
Yep. Sorry, can you just move back to the last page? Because before we move on, let's just answer some questions for the people who's, lovely people who's waking up so early in the to wait for us. I think this question is for you. Remember, is the guy who's the gentleman who has the the lady who has the problem with the V862. He's asking about V1. How's V1 focus in pitch dark condition? In total dark conditions.
Well, it's no problem at all, because you can also there's an infrared on the V1 that can help you focus.
Yeah.
But I don't really need that most of the time. I find switching it off and my camera still can be focused in that moment.
Yeah.
So you won't have a problem.
My for me, because the V1 has a LED lights, it's a modeling light. It's different. It's different from the focus beam. It's a LED continuous lights as modeling light, so it makes your life way easier, even you shooting a pitch black situation. Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
and yeah. So here's another question. Says, what's the strongest with equipment which is easy to carry? What do you reckon, Key?
The 8200 Pro or the 8300 Pro are all good and powerful and easy to carry. The reason why I choose the 8200 Pro over the 8300 Pro on a wedding day is the filter that I can use on the 8200 Pro is compatible with the V1. So I only need to bring one set of filter, and it's compatible throughout my whole lighting system. That's the reason why I choose the 8200 Pro, which is slightly less power, but it's still sufficient power for me on a wheel day wedding shoot.
Yeah, I guess we are discussing under the context of a wedding, because if we talk about group or location shots or commercial shots, then it's a different story, right? And this discussion, what's the light for me? It's the question I always get, and it can be going on forever. But on the wedding, are you going to use softbox? If you are not going to use softbox, then go for 8200 Pro, because it comes with AKR1 kit. It's so easy and light to carry around. But you are the softbox guy on the wedding day of your photo shoots, then go for the 8300, or just put the 8300 in the back of your car whenever you want to use softbox. Just use it, and that'll be easy. And there is a gentleman called Jerry Rizzo asking me about how to get a service regarding Godox. This is the tricky part. So basically, you need to get your warranty through your local dealer. That's why I strongly advise everyone to purchase Godox through their local dealer rather than, let's say, eBay shop. Because if you purchase from eBay shop, then you need to get service from them. And even you might save a couple bucks on your tax. Obviously, you're buying internationally, then your warranty would become an issue. Especially if you're a professional photographer, you need the next day service or things like those, then it's a problem, right? So let's say that basically, I would say if you need service with your Godox, please purchase. Listen to this: purchase from your local dealer. Then in that case, you will be warranted through your local dealer, right? And you can find your local dealer by emailing Godox, for obviously for different countries, it's different, right? Yeah. Carlton is asked to tell me more about the continuous lights. That's exactly what we are going to talk about. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm gonna provide an example, a real wedding example in my slide later on. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Goran was saying that the problem with 8200 using X1, not active camera, is Nikon D750. I used D750 ages ago, but I did use it with 8200. That was no problem. So I would imagine that will be the trigger. The X1, I use X1T and X2T. That has no issue. So my thinking would be that might be some contact points. That's traditional I had with Nikon. You just try to get a wipe. Try to wipe the contact points a bit. That would usually solve the problem. If not, get to X2T and bring down to your local dealer. That should solve the issue, right?
And that's right. I had a photographer actually shoot with Nikon, full Nikon with Godox, and he doesn't have a problem. So you should be all right. Yeah,
you should be all right, mate. Ashley was like, "Hi guys, hey, so early in the morning, so wake up by your little girl, or yeah." Oh my god, see, we do have morning person here. Yeah,
she's a mom, so it's different.
Yeah. So, Simona's asking about hello Simona, about the X Pro 2. Stay tuned. It's coming, but I was not told. When would that be? Wendy was asking about caption. Wendy, you need to close your caption on your own site. That's in your YouTube channel settings. See, people saying same combo with no issues.
Hello?
No, wait, I'm just going through all the questions. Says, dear Godox, New Year gifts, flash set for me. Yeah, I wish. Actually, I can't believe Aries is up this early. I don't know. Ever since the second kids, I become the morning person involuntarily. So, hi Ash. Everything gets solved by a black coffee.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we continue all the questions?
Sounds good. Okay. So I talked about the exact equipment that I'm using in my wheel day wedding, and now let's move on to the next slide. So what actually happens on a wheel day wedding is my next the next section I want to concentrate on. So in my opinion, a wheel day wedding can be broken down into 4 major sections. You have getting ready, ceremony coverage, you got location photos, and then reception coverage. During all those the 4 sections, the area which I probably would stress out the most on a wedding day is getting ready, and then there's the location photos. Ceremony coverage and reception, to me, I think is the easier bit, and I'll explain that further. So let's start off with getting ready. Getting ready. So what normally happens on a getting ready day? So normally I will start off going to the groom's house first before going to the bride's house. A lot of the time I like to shoot by myself for the getting ready section, because when you bring your assistant or bring too many helpers for the getting ready bit, when the couple is already quite stressed normally in the morning, they are quite stressed, making sure things are going on time in time for the ceremony. So I like to shoot alone in the ceremony to minimize the amount of people, the amount of cameras pointing at my couple. But at the same time, the other reason why I like to shoot by myself is I like to control the quality throughout the whole day. So I would only use a second shooter during ceremony and maybe reception, depending on the type of wedding that I'm photographing. And the main reason why is I want to ensure the photo from the start to the end of the day is consistent. So usually we go over to the groom's house first, because the bride will normally need a bit more time for their hair, makeup, and that kind of stuff. Whereas, the guys are easy. They might have a morning shower, do their hair, and then that's it. They put their suit on. Usually I only spend around, 10-15 minutes, taking the more traditional stuff, which is, the groomsman helping the groom putting his suit on, putting his tie on, that kind of stuff. I'd rather spend more time with the guys having a bit of fun, whether they're into scotch, into cars, into guns, knife, whatever they're into these days. Those are the stuff I want to capture more, the more fun stuff. And then before I leave the groom's house, I would, I like to spend, around 15 minutes just taking photo of the groom with the very close family. And this is where I'm talking about is, mum and dad, siblings and grandparents. We'll save the auntie and uncle after the ceremony. So that's how I generally do it. For the groom's getting ready section, I'll normally take around, normally recommend around an hour to an hour and a half. That's normally what I do. The bride, however, a minimum of 1.5 hours to even 2 hours, depending on how many people's in the house, what kind of formality they have. Because in a Greek wedding, they might have, dancing in the morning. They might have, traditional, tying the ribbon and that kind of stuff, which you need to capture. So after the groom's house, we'll go over to the bride's house, and spend some time with the bride and the bridesmaid, and also her family. Before I go to the bride's house, I would always ask the bride to make sure all hair and makeup is done, because there's only so many hair and makeup photos you'll include in an album. In my experience, at most 2 photos from the day from getting ready that will go into the album. So we don't want to spend I don't want to go there and then just wait there for half an hour just waiting for the hair and makeup to be done, or even more. So I normally go there, hair and makeup's finished, and then we can just pretend to do some hair and makeup with a brush or something just to get those shots. By doing it this way, you have more time capturing the moments, whether the bride's opening the present from the groom, even having champagne shot with the bridesmaid, putting the dress on, all that kind of stuff. So that's how I prepare my bride. And the equipment I use for getting ready, I keep it very, very simple. All I bring with me is a Sony 2470 f2.8 and a Godox V1. That's all I bring with me in there. It's just one body, one lens, and one flash. Again, I want to be quick. I want to be light on my gear, and morning preparation can be quite stressful, and you want to get in there, get your shot, and get it done, and then so that the couple can arrive at the ceremony in time. So that's the getting ready section. If we move on along.
Yeah, sure. Let's just quickly say hi to Sean. So Sean is a fantastic portrait photographer who specialized in high school senior photos. If you guys like to see his work, he has lots of powerful energy photos, overpower the sun, with in Detroit area, and he's also a TED Talk speaker. In Detroit area as well. So check his website out. I believe that's called Rock That. And hello, good afternoon or good evening to your time, Sean. All right.
So now we move along to the sermon coverage. Sermon coverage. This is where I bring an assistant with me. Some of the time, just to get extra angles, extra coverage, because I can't be at 2 places at one time. So for example, my assistant might stand on the groom's side capturing the groom's reaction, and I might stand on the bride's side capturing the bride's reaction. So this is when having 2 photographers is useful. So going to the ceremony is quite straightforward. Again, the equipment I use for ceremony is a Sony 2470 with one V1, and then on my other shoulder I will carry another Sony A7R3, but this time with a more closer zoom lens, a 135. I choose to use a 135 and not something like 70-200, which is quite common in the wedding industry, like the combo of having 2470 and 70-200. Mainly because of the weight. I like something that's a bit lighter on my shoulder, and that's why I chose a prime lens for the 135. I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting old, so after shooting so many, shoulder is starting to hurt.
You hurt my feeling. Grandpa is sitting right here, Kilo.
I thought we're the same age.
I know, but yeah. I like your skincare. I like your skincare products. You look very white to me, my like compared with my skin, like you see, tan. But anyway,
it's all in the photoshopping, man.
Yeah, man.
I applied a filter in my video. So equipment I use is 2v1 for the ceremony. If I'm shooting outside in a garden wedding, I'll still bring a V1 with me because unless it's an overcast day, then I don't need flash, which is quite common sense. But sometimes in the ceremony you might have it 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you get a lot of patchy light on your face. That's why I still bring a flash with me, a V1 with me, for that reason, just to eliminate all that kind of shadow. But in a church ceremony, I always bring a flash with me, the V1 with me. Even if the church is really, really bright, I still use flash because after using flash, your photos are a lot more, it will make your editing a lot easier and your photos come out a lot more cleaner that way. That's why I always have that in my bag. So the ceremony coverage part, I guess the most important is don't miss the first kiss. But everything else is really quite straightforward because you're just capturing them. It's just capturing the moment. It's very photojournalistic style. Moving along.
Can I ask a question? What
Yes.
if you miss the first kiss?
What if you miss the first kiss? I haven't missed the first kiss yet, so I can't answer that question. But that's why you should always have 2 photographers maybe for the ceremony in case you do miss the first kiss, and hopefully the second photographer would have caught the first kiss. And if you both miss the first kiss, then you probably another way that you can do is beg your videographer on the day to maybe give you a screenshot of the first kiss. If that doesn't work, maybe just ask the bride quickly to do another kiss after the ceremony finished, but still stand in front of it and zoom into their face and make it look like you've captured the first kiss. That's the only advice I can give.
That works. That's actually great advice. Thanks, Key.
But try not to miss the first kiss, guys. Now,
Always prep for, always have thanks for the plan B though. Always prep for the, what's going to happen unexpected. That's wedding.
That's
everything
correct.
happens.
But I guess if you do miss the first kiss, you quickly, when you do your location photo in the church, you can always ask the couple to stand in the position where that kiss, and then instead of using a wide angle lens, so they can tell, just use a zoom lens and zoom into the kiss, and then that way they probably can't tell that was taken
That's
after the ceremony. Yeah.
Would you mind just go back to the previous slide? There are 2 questions for you to answer. The first question is, how do you come back to fluorescent lighting?
How do you come back fluorescent? That's simple. Just use a flash. Yeah.
You bounce off the. I think that leads to the second question. That's pretty much just flash bounce off the ceiling, right?
Correct. Flash bounce off the ceiling, and then you solve all your problem.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
Perfect.
Too easy. Too easy.
Too easy. So location photo. This can be stressful, but at the same time it can be very fun. Stressful in term you're under time constraint to achieve the photo you need, so that the couple can get back to the reception in time. So this is another time pressure section of the wedding day. But how I do this is the time for location you can control. Unlike getting ready, you can't control the time there because there's a lot of people involved. There's other suppliers, there's the bride, there's the bridal party, there's the bride's, what I mean by bridal party, the groomsmen and the bridesmaid, mum and dad, there's all these external factors that can impact on your timing. Whereas for in location photos, normally it's just yours, the photographer and videographer. So controlling the time on location is quite easy. And what I always recommend on location photo is the first thing to do is recommend for the couple, the bridal party, to go to a cafe, a pub, a restaurant after the ceremony. The last thing you want to do after a ceremony is, for example, I do a lot of Greek Italian wedding, and their ceremony lasts for easily 1 hour. After 1 hour of them standing there listening to the priest, the last thing you want them to do is to ask them to, let's smile in front of the camera. Let's do some portraits. You want them to relax a bit. You want them to have fun. You want them to enjoy the wedding day with their bridal party. So it's always a good recommendation to go to a cafe, a pub, or a restaurant. So they can have a bit of drink, a bit of food. And the main thing is they can have a lot of alcohol, because when they have a lot of alcohol, they'll feel more relaxed. And then you can convince them to do whatever you want them to do. And that's how I can get a lot of...
with me as well. That kind of works for me too.
Yeah. So next time, when you come in Adelaide, the first thing I'll do is take you to a pub for alcohol.
Didn't you take me last time? You didn't tell Beck, did you?
No, you look like you don't need it. You're so awake.
Oh man.
So yeah, that's my suggestion. Taking somewhere fun, and then at the same time, when they relax, they'll smile, you'll get all those really nice candid moment. Like this photo, the groom was just doing a cheers, and then you capture a moment like this, which is unplanned, unset, and this is all part of good memories. I do a lot of candid. I capture a lot of candid moments, a lot of natural moments, but at the same time, I also give a lot of direction on the day to my couple to get some really nice editorial shot or fashion style photos as well. So it's a bit of both. And on location, the camera I use, I still use two cameras, two A7R3. I mainly use a 24-70 lens, but on location, my other lens is a wide angle. This is when I bring in the Sigma 14mm wide angle. Here I use the V1 and also an 8200 Pro. I like using 8200 Pro because it's more powerful. It's small for location, and then on a sunny day I can easily use that to eliminate a lot of shadow that's caused by the sun. So those are my chosen equipment during a location photos shoot, and nothing else. I try to keep it quite simple because wedding is so fast paced, especially for a lot of Greek, Asian, and Italian weddings, very fast paced wedding. So. This
Can
one
I
is...
ask a question here?
Yep, sorry. Yep, go ahead.
Our mate is asking, is it possible to cover wedding with one V1 flash only?
What was the question again? Sorry, Eric.
Do you want to look at the screen? Is it possible to cover wedding with only one V1 flash?
I would, yes, it's very possible. I would always bring a spare V1 just because just in case I always like to have backup. So I would still bring a backup camera for my Sony and a backup for the flash, because those two equipment are very crucial for the wedding day. Because you never know what happens. Sometime there's once that I was using my camera and my camera stopped working, and I had to quickly go to the car and grab my other body. So I can definitely shoot a whole wedding with one body and one flash, but I'll always have backup in my car.
Yeah. So here is the thing. I think it's the same scenarios as the cameras, right? Because every single wedding photographers I know at least has two camera bodies.
Correct.
The same scenario with flash, right? You always have a backup body just in case. You always have a backup flash just in case. You never know what's the weather condition, what would happen. So make sure you always have a backup V1. Although it is possible, but it's strongly recommended have backup bodies like camera or flash or everything else.
And your body has two memory cards too, just as an extra backup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Rian is asking you, do you use any modifiers with your 8200 Pro?
Definitely. That's the main reason why I choose to have the combo of V1 and the 8200 Pro, is so that because they both use the same modifier, and I don't have to bring a different type of modifier out. And I use the AK kit from Codox, which has the grid, the soft filter, and lots of colorful gel. So I do use all that.
Yeah. Right. So I just adding to what Kiro just said, he is also using the R1, right? The R1 head, the round head, rather than the
Correct.
traditional square head. So just make sure if you want to use AKR1, which is a round kit, you need the round head as well.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you get the round head on your AD200 Pro, then you can use that same filter in your V1 because the round head's the same.
Yeah, so it's quite convenient. You only need pretty much just one set of accessories, or at least your accessory intertrend, apply to all the round head. So it's quite convenient.
And the
so
accessory,
asking, yep.
Sorry, and the accessory is the modifier. The accessories are very small for the Godox. So my assistant just leave it in her pocket, and then when I say I need a grid, she just poke it out from her pocket and snap it in. It's all magnet, so it's quite convenient in that regard.
Jerry's asking, do you set your camera to flash white balance?
No, I don't. I just leave it on auto.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
You just
you can always change to whatever you want afterwards, so it doesn't matter.
We can adjust that in Photoshop. Don't worry too much about that. Yeah. Unless you're shooting in JPEG, then I would worry. But I shoot all my photos in RAW, which I can change it easily.
Yeah, so just make sure you shoot in RAW. Don't shoot in JPEG. That's the thing.
Yeah. If you shoot in JPEG, yes, changing that is important.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's it for now. Let's continue.
Cool. So I have this photo in my slide because I just want to show after the couple have a bit of alcohol, after the couple have a bit of fun, relaxing at a cafe, we can convince them to do anything on their wedding day. And this is an example where I convinced the couple to jump into the dinghy in her wedding dress, in his suit, and what I actually did is pull them out into the ocean for the shot. So I actually got all wet from these photos, from this wedding shoot, and I was actually shooting the whole wedding reception with my clothes all wet, just for a bit of fun. Because if the couples see that you're willing to go that extra step, then they will also go that extra step with you, and then as a result, then you'll get some photos that's a bit different from the rest of your portfolio. We'll move along. So reception coverage. Now this part is fun. Reception coverage is cool because this is where all the emotion is, where you get people doing crazy stuff on the dance floor, where you get all the emotional speech from the groom, from the best man. Best man is emotional but funny at the same time, but you also get the speech from the parent as well. So capturing all that is really important. So reception coverage I find is probably the easiest part, but it's also the part where there's a lot of unforgettable memories. The equipment I use during the reception is I use the 24-70 in this for my lens, and then I use the other one's a 135mm lens just for the extra reach on the dance floor. And the flash I use for example in this photo, the backlighting I'll use AD200 for backlight, and then on top of my camera I'll have my V1 just to capture the normal details, the emotions, the candid moments, all the emotions that happen throughout the night. So here, a summary. So I have the V1 and the AD200 Pro that I use during reception. So
just you guys never used a V1 before. V1 can be used as a flash, at the same time, it can be used as a trigger to trigger the 8200 Pro. So it makes it quite convenient. So you can have on-camera flash working
Correct.
with your off-camera flash at the same time.
Yeah, that's correct. Cool. So that's all the three the four major section in a wedding day. You got getting ready, you got ceremony, you got location photos, and then you got the reception. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is what I want to share is how to deal with pressure on a day. So as wedding photographer, it can be an extremely stressful job because the main reason why it's stressful is because you're under time pressure. It's not like a product shoot or, product shoot where you can do it over multiple days if you want to. If you stuff something up, you can always come back and reshoot it. It's not like that kind of thing. Wedding day, if you miss it, you miss it. And also the other stressful thing is you want to make sure, what if your equipment doesn't work on the day, or what if your memory card break down. So that's always part of the reason why it's such a stressful day. And how do you deal with all this pressure? And this is some of the tips I will share with you guys from my 10-year experience and how to deal with pressure from a real day wedding.
Yeah. By the way, before we continue, Kilo, do you want to change your name to your Instagram handle so that people can follow you?
You mean on the video?
Yeah, over here. Your name. Or do you want me to change that for you?
Can you change it for me? I don't know how to change it from my end.
Okay, no worries. Just give me your call. I'll do that for you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just swap back. All right, you continue.
Cool. So, how to deal with pressure on the day? So, the most common sense thing is good communication and organization on the day. But that doesn't just apply to on the day. It's applied to the catch-up meeting that you have with your couple. So usually I'll catch up with my couple, 1 to 2 months before their wedding day, where we sit down, talk about the schedule, talk about what photo they like, what they don't like, and this is where I provide my couple with with education of what you should prepare for before your wedding day, mainly for the photo side of things. So normally in this meeting, I'll tell my couple stuff like for the bride, make sure your hair makeup is done before I come. For the groom, make sure if you're a person that have morning shower, make sure you do your morning shower. Make sure you do your hair. Don't wait for me to come. Don't wait for me to turn up and then you guys go and shower and all that kind of stuff. That will just add to the timeline and reduce my shooting time. And a lot of the time, I've been asked the groom and groomsmen to just have your pants and shirt on before I come. So when I come, I'll just shoot you guys, putting your tie on, putting your jacket on, and then we get that side of things out of the way, and then we just spend the rest of our time shooting the more how the guys have fun, whether they're into scotch or into cars, all that kind of stuff. So that's part of the good communication and organization part. It's really educating your couple what is expected on the day. And I mainly concentrated on getting ready, because if getting ready is late, then it will impact on the rest of the day. It will impact on the ceremony, which will then impact on the location, and then it will impact on the reception side as well. So having a good start to the morning, to the day of your wedding shoot, it really set the tone and the scene for the rest of the day. You don't want the bride and the groom to feel stressed walking to the ceremony room. You want them to feel, yep, everything's under control. And then because if they feel stressed and if they look stressed, it will make your photo, it will show you on your photo. And then when they look back at the photo, it will remind them of what a stressful day that is. So as a wedding photographer, you're not just a photographer. Sometimes you need to be a bit of a consultant. You need to care about all their feelings. You need to talk to them about all their feelings, all that kind of stuff as well. And as a wedding photographer, the other stressful thing is you're just not a wedding photographer. You need to be a portrait photographer. You need to be a good product photographer. You need to be a good photojournalistic photographer. So on a wedding day, you need all that kind of skill before you can capture a whole day wedding. So in that sense, it can be quite stressful because, yeah, you need to know a bit, you need to be good at all the different, genre of the different types of photography. So that's one of the things of being a wedding photographer. One thing is prioritization. So, on a wedding day, no matter how organized you are, how good you are, because, on a wedding day, you're dealing with a lot of different suppliers. You're not the only suppliers. You're not the only important supplier. Everyone is important. You got florists, hair, makeup, you got videographers, all of them just as important, and they're there to do their job. So it's all about working together. And because of that, you will, no matter how good time management you have. That's why in my third point, good time management, and I've got 3 crosses next to it, is meaning no matter how good you are at managing your time, things will never go on time on a wedding day. And that's where you have to prioritize. For example, there's certain stuff where if during getting ready, because that's important, because if you're late, if you're getting ready goes over time, that'll impact on the rest of the day. During getting ready, for example, if you ran out of time to do your detail photos, do them later, do them location, or like this photo, instead of spending, I've seen some wedding photographers that spend like half an hour just doing detail photos on the table or on the floor or next to curtain, do the detail when the bride put it on, do all that. It looks just as nice in my opinion. You don't have to spend like, and all this series of photos will only take me like, 5 minutes to do, rather than spending half an hour trying to position that ring, or set everything up to get all the flowers, all the different shot, all the perfume, all that detail. There's other ways of doing it. For example, the ring shot. A ring shot is very important, and normally a photographer will take at least 10 minutes to get a perfect ring shot on the wedding day. For me, if you can't get a ring shot in the morning, do that at reception time. Reception time, you got a lot more time during the reception. When everyone's having, for example, when everyone's having the meal, just do your ring shot then. You can spend half an hour doing your ring shot then if you want to. You don't have to cram all that in the morning. Spend the morning doing this, photographing the stuff that you can't get in any other time of the day. For example, the bride putting their dress on, having good fun with the bridesmaid in their robe, all that kind of stuff. Going back to my early slide. For example, where the bridesmaids in the robe in one of the photo, looking at the bride, those type of shot, or even the bridesmaid, putting the shoes on for the bride, having champagne shot. Those are the type of shot that you can't do on any other time of the day during a wedding day. So prioritize, get the shot you need, and then any stuff that you can do during the other section of the wedding day, either during mainly reception, or even if some of the shot you can do on location, during your location photo, for example, photo of all the flowers and stuff like that, which is important. You can do that on location. So yeah, push that to another time of the day, but make sure you get out on time. Yeah. So the third point, good time management. I touched on that. No matter how good time management you have, it won't go to plan on the wedding day, because you're not the only supplier. There's a lot of different suppliers on the wedding day, and you're not the only person running the show. You got the bride running the show, you got a bridesmaid, you got a mum and dad that you have to deal with too. My fourth point, declutter. What I mean by declutter is not declutter the room, it's more decluttering your gear. Try not to bring too many gears with you. Just limit to the gear that is most important, that a gear that can all-rounder gear, a gear that can adapt to wide angle, for example, a lens that can adapt to wide angle, that can zoom. So that's why I choose the 24-70 lens, f2.8, because that is an all-rounder lens in my opinion, and I can get a number of different shots in that lens. So don't bring too many gear with you. I've seen photographers that bring three cameras, to shoot a section of the wedding. That's not necessary. For example, getting ready, I just bring one camera with one flash, and that's it. When you're forced to use, when you bring simple gear, your mind don't have to worry about too much about the gear, but worry about what it is that you have to capture in front of you. So that's what I mean by declutter. My fifth point is good acting. A wedding photographer, you have to be a good actor sometime as well. And what I mean by good acting is, a lot of wedding I've been to, I actually feel very stressed on the day because, things are not running to plan. I'm not getting the type of photo I want. The bridesmaid might have broken her shoes, or hair makeup is delayed. It's very stressful because you're like, oh, how can I get all the photo I want by the ceremony time? And this is when you have to be a good actor. You have to put on your face where, yep, everything is fine, everything's normal. You can't show that you are under pressure in front of your couple, because if you show that you're not under control and you don't know what you're doing, or you're stressed, that will rub onto your couple, and when the couple get that stress, it will rub onto your photos, and then you end up with a set of really average photo on your wedding day that you will never be proud of. And when the client look at those photos, they probably won't be happy with it. So no matter how stressed you are, you just need to act like, yep, everything's under control and you got this. And yep, and the couple might, I've been to a wedding where the couple come up to me and go, oh, okay, we only got 5 minutes, but there's still so much photos that we haven't done. I'm like, that's fine, we will get through them. You just need to, reassure them and put on, yep, everything's under control. 5 minutes is plenty of time. I can do a lot in 5 minutes. You just need to sometimes act all that out. Another example, I've been to a ceremony where the celebrant is 2 hours late. And then I was meant to have, at least 1 hour of location time, but only ended up with, just literally 5 minutes to get all my location photo. But in that time, if you show that you are stressed and you can't handle the situation, how will your couple feel when they see you like that? So yeah, you have to act that out. You have to act like, yep, this is normal. Things always go on behind schedule. I always do my location photos in 5 minutes, not an hour. So this is perfectly fine. So you to keep moving forward. So that's what my point there is. And then find a target is my last point. So coming into a wedding day, everyone don't know who you are. The couple probably seeing you. The couple probably only seeing you once, which is or twice at the meeting, but the rest of the family, bridal party don't know who you are. So trying to get your connection with everyone is hard. So what I mean by you need to find a target. You need to find someone that the bridal party or everyone know who they are. So for example, if I'm photographing the groom, I will find my target in one of the groomsmen, someone that is close to them, and someone that you can get along with easily, and you can joke, you can tease him a bit, get him excited, get him making funny joke for you. And that is very effective. That's what I mean by finding a find a target. For example, the last few wedding I've been to, there's one wedding I've been to where the dad is very easygoing. It's so funny. Everyone just loved teasing the dad, have a good time with the dad, and he was immediately my target. He was, I would go to dad and I would do the same thing, tease him, do all that. And then when I see the bridal party a bit stressed, I would go straight to the dad and go, oh, and work up the dad, so the dad will make the rest of the bridal party laugh, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I mean by finding a target. I hope that makes sense. So this is some of my tips on how to deal with pressure on the day. So if we don't have any question, I'll move on to my real day wedding example.
Oh, we do actually have a few questions. Let me just highlight them. Austin's asking, would you recommend 8200 or bigger to along with V1?
So what was that?
I think you mentioned a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
It's 8200 is your preference. It's your preference.
Yeah. You mean on a wedding day? Wedding day, I use 8200. as my preference. That's
Okay.
the most powerful light that I'll bring to my wedding day.
Niraj was like, whenever I'm shooting in, I'm away tuned into blank. That time I don't remember anything. Whatever I learned before the shoots, it's happened to me all the time. In the industry for 15 years, it still happened to me. Trust me, nervous is part of the job because we're under so much pressure. It makes life easier when you are more experienced, but the pressure is still there, right, Key?
Right. Even till today, when I shoot a wedding, I'm still nervous on the inside. I'm still under a lot of pressure on the inside. But I've just, with my 10 years of experience, I've just learned to not show it on the outside. Now, a lot of the time, my assistant will go, Key, how can you remain so calm when we are under so much time constraint and we haven't done everything yet? I'm not calm on the inside. I'm really nervous and I'm stressing out. But my face is just not showing it. And that's probably what I've learned in my 10 years of what I'm doing on the outside, what I'm feeling on the inside.
There's another question from Jeremy. Say, does Mac mode work with V1? Mac mode does not. It's not designed for round head, but I did try it. It does work with V1. So if you have an existing Mac mode system, you can use some V1. That's no issue. Though I would advise AKR1 kits because it's a way. The results are very similar, but it's a way smaller to carry in your bag. Especially when I'm shooting weddings or I'm shooting running and gun kind of photo shoots with 8200 Pro, I would prefer my bag to be as compact as possible, and AKR1 does have advantage on the perspective. But as I've said that. If you already have that system, you want to save money without purchasing any, additional accessories, it's up to you. It does work. It will be a bit struggling because, to put the things on a round head. But from my personal experience, it does work. Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool. Should we continue?
Cool.
Continue.
We can. So after covering all those slides, I think it's now to talk to you guys an all-day wedding example of how I come up with a shot, what I've done, what lighting I've used, what equipment I've used to get the photo I need under a wheel day wedding, pressure scenario. So this is a lovely couple that I photographed a couple of weeks ago before Adelaide go into lockdown. So at the moment, where I live in Adelaide, which is based in Australia, we are on a 6-day strict lockdown where we can't even go out for exercise. So luckily, this couple was very lucky, blessed to have their full day wedding done just before our lockdown, which is great. I'm so happy for them. So the first, as I mentioned earlier, the first thing we'll do is we go over to the groom's house. Obviously, we'll do all the traditional stuff of, putting your tie on, putting your shirt on, all that kind of stuff. But as I mentioned before, the stuff that I really want to capture is the groomsmen having fun. In this case, they love the scotch. So, having their scotch and all that kind of stuff. These are the type of stuff I like to capture and put in the memory for them. I still do all the traditional stuff, don't get me wrong, but, I want to do something a bit more fun. And this is an example of that. So for this shot, the room is very bright. The room is not too dark on the day, but I still choose to use flash because flash just eliminate all the really little shadow on the edge and all that kind of stuff, which gives the photo that really clean look, which is the style that I like to go with, the really clean, bright look. Here I use my Sony 7R3 with a 24-70 lens, and the flash, my chosen flash for this is the V1, the Godox. My whole lighting system's with Godox now, but it's giving me that really consistent kind of feel for my photo. The setting, a lot of people on my YouTube video always ask for my setting, so I've included my setting in my slide here. My setting is a 200 f3.5 with ISO 400, and my flash is 1/8 with the flash power. I always shoot manual. I don't shoot TTL because I'm a control freak. Very simple. I just want to be in control of everything I do. You can do in TTL, that's no problem. But I'm just so used to manual, and I feel more comfortable manual. So it's a personal choice there. So this is one of the photos from the getting ready section where the groomsmen having a good time with the groom, having some scotch.
Yeah. Do you use any accessories, Key, with V1? Do you use IKR1 or no? It's just bare ball.
In this shot, it's just bare because my flash is just bounced straight off the ceiling, which will bounce the light back, which is nice and soft for me enough. So I don't need to use any filter or any soft filter in the shot. The ceiling is white, soft enough. Yeah. For this shot, no, but I do use a lot of accessories. So this is one where I'll unuse accessory, where I'm photographing the groom with his lovely car. Again here I've just simply used a 2470. The setting is on there. You can see the setting on the slide. 640. The reason why my speed is a lot higher is firstly it's outside. Secondly, I want the shot to be a bit more dramatic, a bit more moodier. That's why I boost my speed higher to give me that more moody look in the photo. My aperture is really high because I want everything to be very sharp in my photo, including the car or the cloud in the background. So my F is like quite high, 6.3, and my flash.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Aries.
I think he's driving the same brand as your car. Just
no. Mine's a lot cheaper.
Oh no! Oh no! Your one starts with B, right? Oh, sorry.
It's
your one starts with B.
You talk about my Bentley.
Let's talk about the other car of yours. I'm sorry.
The flash I do here is a 1/4 power, and I do have a grid on there because I want to concentrate my light just on the groom's face and not all around the ceiling of the car and all that kind of thing. So I do have a grid on there with a power of 1/4. So
where did you place the car?
The flash, I placed it on the.
Oh, sorry, the flash.
Yeah, the flash. The flash, I placed it on the passenger seat. Sorry, I missed that. Placed on the passenger seat, facing the groom. Yeah. So,
this is how much we love each other. Even I say the wrong words, and Kilo still get what I was meaning.
Yeah. We have a weird kind of connection, which I won't go further. Here's a video of me shooting it. So that was a 2470, and then the groom in the car with the flash. Yeah. So that's just a quick behind the scene. I couldn't do too many behind the scene because it's a wheel day wedding, and it's hard sometimes to get a lot of behind the scene for everyone. But I'll try to where I can.
But can I ask a question about the previous shots? It looks like to me it's a cloudy day and it's kind of flat, isn't it? Like the ambient light was kind of flat, but your photos come up with so much drama. Do you underexpose the ambient or something like those, or how do you make it so dramatic?
Yeah, that's why I push up the speed to make everything more moodier, to let less light into my scene to make it look like a really dramatic kind of day. And then just having the flash there is so convenient, just to brighten up the area that I want to brighten up, which is in this case the groom's face. Is where you draw your attention. I want you guys to draw the attention to the groom's face. So that's where I lit up the brightest part of the image.
Thank you, Key.
It's okay. So that one. So the next one. I like using a lot of flash, but at the same time, I also like using a lot of LED light. And the 500R is amazing because it comes with a remote. I can even change a lot of colors. I can light his face in red or blue avatar if I want to. In this case, I kept it classy. I kept a white light. It's very simple. I got my assistant holding the 500R light next to him. to create this really nice moody look. I chose this over a flash in this photos because we were running out of time, and setting up a shot like this is so much quicker than using a flash because I can see what I get straight away. And also I can direct my light because the LC 500R come with a barn door, so I can so let me show you an example actually. So I don't know if you guys can see this. So the LC500 come with a barn door as well, so I can really direct the light however I want. And in this case, I just want this to be extremely moody, and I just only want the groom's face in the photo. I don't want any of the mess in the back in the bedroom. I don't want any of that kind of stuff. That's why having this LED barn door with my LED light is so fast and easy. I can direct the light wherever I want to go, and with the control as well, you know, I can control the light, the power of the light, how bright I want, the different color, you know, all that different color, all with me on the controller. So this is why I've chosen this light. It's so fast and easy to get the shot I want and the mood I want very quickly, compared when I'm running out of time. So this shot was done very quickly with the 500R. The setting is you know, 320 with the speed, f2.8, ISO is 400. That's how bright the light is. My ISO only need to be around 400, and the room is pitch black. So this is a video of how I've done it. Just be mindful in this video. There's some coarse language. All right. Let me know if I can't play it, Eric, but I'll play it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Shit.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
This is shit fun on OnlyFans.
Make a profile picture on OnlyFans. Damn,
Jimmy, can you pretend you're just touching yourself?
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a quick behind the scene of how I've done that shot very quickly. All right. Excuse the language. All right.
Yeah. Austin was asking why do you use ISO 400 instead of lower?
Because I want my speed to be a bit higher. I want my speed to be not like 50, not like 60. I want my speed to be a bit higher. Because when the speed is higher, I can make the photo moodier. When the speed is higher, I let a lot less light into my photo, and then the background and everything can be darker, so I don't see any of the mess in the background.
Yeah,
that's the reason why.
Yeah, frankly speaking, with Sony cameras, with A7 III, we are using the ISO 400 is very clean. I don't really see much difference between ISO 100 and ISO 400. So there was no issue for me. But personally, I would imagine nowadays with all the mirrorless camera, is including other brands, 400 ISO wouldn't be any issue. So
that's correct. So this is another photo I've done very quickly. Still in the bedroom, and I still use the 500R from Godox to light my groom up. I can control where. With a LED light, I can control where the shutter hits, where the brightest point is. I can do all that, and I can do that really quickly. And especially with mirrorless camera, when I use a LED light, I'll see exactly what I get, and I can adjust my setting very quickly. In that case, in this instant, I want a bit more of the background showing, so my speed is a lot lower. It's 80. And my f is 2.8. I still left my ISO 400. I didn't bother changing that. I just changed my setting to the fastest I can to get the shot I need. And then this is a bit of a behind the scene of where I placed the LED light and the groom there. Ended up turning at first I tried to add the light from the bed lamp, but I ended up turning that off because that was casting too much of of an orange tinge into the photo. I prefer something a bit more monotone for this photo. So that's that one there. Okay, but now we're heading to the bride getting ready. So again, there's a lot more shot I've taken on the wedding day, but because of we only have 19 minutes away, I'll just show you a few examples of the photo I've done. And I'll try to show you example of photos that are not normal, like, you know, putting a tie on, all that kind of stuff, of detailed photo of the cufflink, all that kind of stuff. I'll show you something that I feel is a little bit more different, or something that you can consider doing on a wedding day. Bride getting ready. You know, a lot of the time, you know, the bride will get a present from the groom, a letter on the morning day, you know, expressing their feelings for each other, and that's always a very emotional moment to capture. During a moment like this, in this setting, I chose to use the LED light over flash, is because when she's reading this love letter that is from the groom, I don't want to use flash and impact on the video. So a lot of the time you have a videographer on the day. If you constantly use flash, especially in a situation like this, when she's very, you know, she's very emotional, you don't want the flash to be going off all the time and ruin that moment. And this is where a LED light such as the LC500R is very useful, because if I put the LED light on, the videographer will have a very good light source for them as well, so they'll be happy, and I'll be happy because I don't have to use flash to interrupt the moment, and especially on our mirrorless camera, I can go in full silent mode, so the bride don't even need to hear me having the shutter going off, like clicking every single second. So I can go in silent mode with the LED light and capture this moment, you know, silently, without interruption. And that's how we can get emotions like this from the bride, rather than reminding her that, you know, there's a photographer here flashing you every second when you're reading that. So this is why this is so important. This is so useful in this regard, because you won't interfere with the moment, and you won't interfere with the videographer taking the video of the situation. The setting is there. My speed is 200. It's f2.8 in this case, and the ISO is 640 in this one. The lens I use is the 24-70, and the light I use is as mentioned, is the LC500R. And this is more the behind the scene of what happened there. My assistant holding the light. There is a window next to her, as you can see, but the light coming in, the day was pretty overcast. As you see in my earlier slide, the light coming in is just not strong enough in this situation. So that's why the LED light was important. Going on to the next slide. Again, this is another quick one using the 24-70, capturing the bride, you know, just looking out and adjusting her shoes. Very simple shot. 200 f2.8 ISO 640. I use a 24-70 lens. Use the 500R LED light, and quick. It's just a quick, easy shot straight away to get this one. So now, after all the getting ready type of photos, we do the bride, you know, some portrait for the bride, you know, and you know, as I mentioned earlier, when I do the bride getting ready, or even any of the getting ready photos, all I bring with me is the 24-70 and one body with me. I do have an extra body in my car as a backup in case my equipment doesn't work. That is in my car, but when I do the getting ready section, this is all I bring with me. Just a flash, a body, and one lens, 24-70. Here, my flash is bouncing straight off the ceiling, so I didn't use any filter. I mean, any light modifier, anything like that on my flash. It's just a bare, bold, bounce straight off the ceiling to get this nice clean shot. Speed is 200, f4, ISO 640, and my flash is 1/8. So most of the time, my flash inside a house is mainly around 1/8 or 1/4 maximum. I barely need to go to 1/2 or full power. That's my setting. Moving along.
Yep. So Vara has a question regarding, says, what's your suggestion for continuous light for marriage? I guess he's asking for wedding. That's LC 500, right?
Correct.
Right.
That's the one
Showing
that's
now. Yeah.
I've been using. Yeah. Because this one has I chose this one because it has a barn door where I can direct all my light, and the main important thing, it comes in a number of different colors. So I'll show you example where in situation where I use some of the different colors, and also the main thing is it has a remote control as well, where I can control the power of the light, the color of the light, all that with me without shouting to my assistant, going, change, increase the power, decrease the power, maybe make them more orange, make them more white. All that's controlled by me. So which is quite cool. So if we don't have any question, we'll move along to my next slide. This is just a quick portrait of the bride after she's in her dress. Again, I wanted the shot to be a bit more moodier to match back with a chandelier. And again, all I use here is a 2470 with a LED light, with my assistant holding the LED light. The ISO is I went to 1000 because it's a lot darker in this room. And then the speed's 250 with f2.8. That's my setting. I'm lighting up their bride with a LC 500. And here's a photo of behind the scene of where my assistant was standing to light it up. Again, I've done this literally in just under a minute, nice and quick to get this type of look that I'm going for. As you can see with the barn door, it's very useful in this case because I can block all the light from hitting the wall and just concentrate mainly on the bride's face and her beautiful, amazing dress, which is that one there behind the scene. So next we in a normal Greek wedding, there's always going to be dancing in the morning, and then you capture the dancing part of it. Obviously for the dancing part of it, I want to keep my gear very simple. I don't want my assistant to walk around with a flash or with a LED light trying to light up my subject. I just simply put the flash on top of my camera and then bounce the light off the ceiling. So in this case, I still kept using my V1. My flash power is still 1/8. And then my ISO is 640 with 200 speed. And my lens I use is 2470. Very simple gear, but again, very simple but flexible. I can still get the shot I need with the one lens and one flash. So that's just an example of what was happening on the day. You can see me just having the flash on top of my camera, and my camera is just, it's just one body, one lens, one flash. It's very simple. Moving along.
Yep.
So now we're in the church. This church is amazing. All the wall is white. All the it's really nice bright church. I can. A lot of people go, yeah, you can shoot all this in natural light. I can, but it will make my editing a lot harder later on. It won't give me that. It'll still give me a nice image, but what I want is I don't just want a nice image. I want a really beautiful, clean image. This is why I still choose to use a flash, even in such a bright church, because editing an image with a flash and making it nice and bright and clean, and the main important thing is making the image look very solid and detailed, is what flash can give me. So during the ceremony, as I mentioned earlier, I'll have the V1 with me with a 2470. Here I'll have two body, because my other body I'll put a lens that is a lot more zoom. So in this case, I'll use the 135mm from Sony G Master, But this shot was actually just taken with the 2470. So 1000 f3.2 with speed 250. My flash power is 1/4 for the shot. This is a very important shot in a good ceremony where they walk around the altar 3 times. And it's one that you have to capture, and you have to capture well, because this is just as important as the first kiss, in my opinion. So that's how this shot was done. The next shot, so this is that first kiss. I was on the floor photographing this one, you know, because and shooting upward, because I wanted to feature the first kiss, but at the same time I want to feature the ambience of the church, especially that amazing chandelier. Again, just with a 2470, you know, ISO is 1000 for this, and my flash power is 1/4. I did not use any filter, any modify, none of that kind of stuff. It's just a bare flash, you know, bouncing the light off the ceiling, creating the shot. As mentioned, I can use natural light, but I still want to use flash to give me that really, really solid feel to the image, and to give me that really nice, crisp, clean look throughout the whole entire image with no, but as minimum shadows as I can achieve. That's why I choose to use it that way. So after the ceremony, after the first kiss, after all the other stuff, then you know, before the bride and groom walk out of the church, I always like to take some photo of them in the church by themselves, you know. And this photo, and this is what this photo demonstrates. So in this shot, I actually have my assistant standing in the background holding the 8200 Pro. My lens is 2470, and then I have the grid on my 8200 Pro to make sure the light doesn't spread too much to achieve the shot. The setting you can see on my screen, and then in this image where the bride's by herself, this is where I use the This is where I use my wide angle lens, the 14mm. Again, I use the system still stay at the back with the 8200 Pro with a grid on it to prevent the light from spreading too much. And as you can see, this is the setting that it shows there for this photo. I would normally also do a group photo in the church with the whole bridal party. This one I tried to boost up my ISO even higher and have my aperture at around 4.5, so that everyone's a lot more sharp rather than f2.8. This photo is very easy to do. My flash was bouncing straight off the ceiling. My flash the V1 was placed on top of my camera with the flash bouncing straight off the ceiling for this shot. And I think I have a video of what happened on the day here, where you can see the equipment I have on my camera. So it's over. Yeah, and then this is the next photo where a lot of the time where you have to work with the videographer on the day as well. You can see there, I'm just shooting from a distance with the V1 bouncing straight off the ceiling, just to get that shot. It's a nice and simple shot. So after that is location photo. For location photo, we went to a bar so that the bride and groom can have some drinks, some resting time, and that's how I can get even more photo at different locations. I noticed this part where I can shoot through the window inside to get this shot. I like the whole scene with the 8200 Pro. I can do this with a V1 as well, but just at the time my assistant was holding the 8200 Pro. That's why I chosen to use the 8200 Pro and to light the couple in this case. I have a grid on there to direct my lights to make sure it hits whoever I want to hit. In this case, I wanted to hit the bride. So the bride was light up with the 8200 Pro, but the groom was just light up by the sun coming through the window. And the setting you can see there, and my lens again is a 2470 lens there. Moving along, not all my photos are all, you don't. Sorry.
Bless you, mate.
Obviously, not all my photos you need to use a flash. There's some photos where the lighting is perfect outside, and you just use natural light. For example, when the bride walked out of the cafe, the light was on her.
Patches of light, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So
yeah.
So I don't need to use flash in that.
Yeah.
This is another.
Keith, there's no rush. You have another 4 minutes.
Thank you.
I'm kidding. All right, take your time, mate. Just to know that.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
This is another location photo that I've been to. It's at the Botanic Garden. Again, I saw the beautiful sun peeking through the tree, and I want to capture that nice beautiful sunlight. But the couple is all dark, so I used the V1 there to light them up with a 1/2 power. And you can see my assistant holding the light there for the shot afterward.
Yeah. By the way, what triggers do you use?
I use the X1 Pro.
Okay. X Pro. Yeah.
Most of my one. Yeah. And another example of a great setting. I wanted the light to light up my couple, my beautiful bride with the dress, with an amazing dress. The flash power is 1/2 in this one because the shadow is quite harsh. The sun was quite harsh. And you can see my assistant there with the hand using the V1, lighting the couple up to eliminate those shadow. So to take the last shot, she was standing in the exact same direction to light it up. Yep. Now that's what I meant with the detail photos. So I actually took this shot at the reception rather than in the getting ready because we're running behind time during the getting ready section. And this is another one of the ring shot where I actually use a LED light instead of a flash because it was I can control my light a lot better and I can see my light a lot better and I can achieve this type of look very quickly. Here I use my micro lens, the 50mm, because I wanted as much detail from the ring as possible. My aperture for this is f11. It's very high because I want to see a lot of detail in that. And this is the behind the scene of how that was taken. I also did another version with color. So, this is for a different effect. So this is why the 500 is so useful because you can change the color and get a totally different look straight away. And this was just done within seconds of changing it on my remote. You can get this kind of look as well. And then with the bride dance, a tradition where they stick money on you, where you get rich. And in this shot, I actually have the 8200 Pro backleading my couple, and then I have the 500 on the left with a bit of purple tinge on there, just to create that little nice purple color of this photo, to give it a bit of color in the background as well. So that's what I've done there. The setting you can see on the slide. So to finish before I left the wedding, because we ran out of time in the morning to get the groomsmen doing some cigar shots. So that's what I've done. I've quickly done that just before I left the reception. And again, I didn't have much time left because I needed to leave. So I used my LED light to create a mood to set a scene. So here, I used some red color, and then use a white light as well to balance out a bit of the red. And you can see my setting there as well. And this is the behind the scene of how that was done. and I could do this with the videographer doing all her stuff as well on the day, because I'm not flashing at her. So this is why the LED light is good, because it will allow the videographer to get the shot they need as well. So that was the last shot from that wedding, and obviously there's a lot more images from that wedding. But with the time we have, I'll just show you some examples. Hopefully that you guys will get an idea of what happens on a full day wedding day. Yeah. So that's my presentation, guys. Yeah. If there's any questions,
I guess it's not so much as a question. Jeffrey was like, it looks easy, but it's very, very hard. What's your advice, Key?
It looks easy, but very, very hard. It's actually not that hard. It's actually really easy. Because especially when you use the LED, when I started using LED light, what I see is what I get. And with mirrorless cameras, your settings changes. You can see your setting as a change on your screen, so it's actually quite easy. Flash can be a bit more harder, but again, when you come with a bit of practice, it's actually quite repetitive, and you sort of know what the setting's going to be like. So it's not rocket science.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
Correct.
And LED makes your life easier. That's the advice we got from Key, right?
Especially when you're under pressure, you just want a moody shot, or want something done really quickly. Because LED, you can see what you're doing. Not like Flash, you can't see what you're doing. Then yeah, it's good to have that in your bag.
Option, yeah, it's good to have options. If you wanna quickly done, you can always indoor just take out LED, because nowadays LED are not. It's so different from like what happened 10 years ago. Well, 10 years ago with LED, you always have this green cast on the skin, which makes it looks a bit weird. Now with the Godox LED, I believe it's 96 or 98 plus sort of color accurate, which makes it perfect.
Correct. And there's also like a nice filter on there, so the light's a lot softer as well. And with the barn door, now you can direct your light. That makes it really easy for a wedding photographer.
Also, I wouldn't be able to address the price, because obviously in different countries we're using different currency. I don't know if you're using Australian dollars, or use US dollars, or use euros. So you need to check it out at your local dealer. That's the advice we are giving. I think there's no further questions, Key. So if there's no further question, maybe we can call it for the day, and you can drive kids to the school.
Thank you.
You're in lockdown. Sorry. Maybe you can take the kids.
I can go back and babysit.
Yeah, you can cook. You can start cooking the breakfast for the kids, which is wonderful. Good times.
Thanks for tuning into my presentation, guys. I appreciate you guys.
All right.
Thanks.
We have another talk. Yeah, we have another talk coming up tomorrow, which I will talk about 801200 Pro, which is totally from Kilu. As he's doing wedding, I'm just doing some. Talk about the sports bikini photo shoots on the beach side, which is around Bandai. So if you guys are interested, welcome to come back tomorrow, and we will have another chat from there.
I'll be
All
there.
right. Thank you, guys. Talk soon. Bye.
Yeah.